Okay, good evening, everyone. I am Krista Yarbor, your host for this evening. I am the accounting clerk for Park Heights Renaissance, and I'd just like to say welcome to everyone, and I hope everyone has had a great day. Um, the first and foremost, we're going to acknowledge any city legislators and officials that's on the line. If you are here, can you please announce yourself? And also, can everyone please be mindful to mute yourself during the presentations as well? Okay, so we're going to just begin. Do we have any council and legislative district updates at this present time?
Hi,
Okay.
Krista. It's Yolanda.
Hi, Yolanda.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Um,
Please mute yourself.
I'm not sure if anyone from Councilwoman Middleton's office is on the line, but I want to first welcome everyone to tonight's community meeting. Hope you are well during this season of gratitude. Want to express my gratitude for your partnership, your ability to stay in the fight in this work that we are doing to rebuild and restore the community. And also on behalf of Councilwoman Middleton, I want to also send warm wishes. Councilwoman Middleton is graciously representing us at the MACO Winter Conference, which is the Maryland Association of Counties, and she is actually getting an award tonight. And part of the reason that I have to run, I wanted to also say on her behalf, keep her in your thoughts as she represents us here in Cambridge, Maryland. So just wanted to just quickly say that, Krista, and just welcome everyone. And if I don't talk with you or see you before the holidays, I wish everyone a very safe and prosperous holiday, whatever way you choose to celebrate the holiday season.
Thank you, Yolanda, for that. We really appreciate it, and happy holidays to you as well.
Thank you.
Next we will go to our PH Hidden Agenda, and that will be Pastor Bortley with one more, one less, a mentoring program. Can you please give us some information about that, Pastor Bortley?
Good morning, good afternoon. I'm sorry, good evening, everybody. I'm Minister Brian Borley, Executive Wellness Director of One More, One Less Mentoring. Since August, we've been doing so many different things with the youth in our community. Everything from Operation Waterways, environmental education is our program geared towards giving exposure and inclusion to water activities, water culture for youth and adults that may be interested in just going outside of Park Heights, seeing water in different places, from learning how to fish, learning how to boat, learning kayaking. The kids did a great summer program, even to the fall. And then in October the 23rd through the 24th, we had a fishing tournament utilizing some of the kids from Arlington, meeting us down at Lake Roland Park, where they learned how to fish for a tournament. learned some different things. We had some great community partners show up. Department of National Resources showed up. Lake Roland's Nature Council was present that wants to do some bigger activities with us. So one of my goals, not just with the youth and the adults in the community, was to bring partnerships back into Park Heights. So we've managed to do a lot of environmental partners that are willing to come back on board and do some great things in this Park Heights community. We've got my little zoo right now is in Arlington on the 3rd floor, where the kids were able to learn aquaculture, learn how to grow trout so that they can put them back in the stream, learn how to grow sunfish, blue crabs, oysters, and turtles. And they're also learning hydroponics, how to grow vegetables and fruit with just water. So we've been able to put tanks in Cross Country Middle School. We've got tanks in Creative City, and Park Heights Academy and Pimlico will be the last stop. So all of these kids will have some exposure to water quality, learning aquaculture, learning the whole understanding of how we use water to create food for people. Currently, because of all the water pollution that we have around Baltimore City, we're taking a strong campaign teaching the kids how not to litter and where that litter shows up at and how it affects the culture, the ecosystems, and the end result, their food. So trying to show them all of those things. I'm also embarking on a new project that we just met at Arlington a couple days ago with a campaign that I'm trying to put up for 2020, which is Operation Take Flight. Operation Take Flight is to gain and give exposure not only just to the water program, but now we're going after flight. My goal is to teach 10 kids how to become pilots, private pilots. So that's the next undertaking that we're doing right now. We've got a lot of people on board. United Airlines is joining us, Southwest, American Airlines is willing to partner so that these kids have exposure in occupation, whether it's pilot or even airplane engineers. We're trying to create occupations that just give these kids a whole different trajectory and a different outcome for their families to move into a different financial percentile. So if you had told us many years ago, learning how to become a pilot with just 1,500 hours underneath your belt, you would start a career at $100,000. The ceiling is unbelievable, but that's your starting place. So if we can train these 11th graders in 2.5 years how to become a pilot, by 21, they would be able to work for any commercial airline. So my goal right now is to try to figure out how to put this flight simulator inside of Arlington that gives us more exposure to helping these kids get to the next stage of getting their flight certification. So back to the water. The water is teaching kids how to boat, how to understand building underwater robots so that they can look at oyster reefs, and then we can mimic what they see and put it inside of a classroom. So that's what I got for you today. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. If you're interested in volunteering, we're always looking for additional help. If you're looking at trying to donate, we have various campaigns on Facebook that are available as well. But I thank you so much for the opportunity, PHR, and hopefully we can do some more things in the future.
Does anyone,
Quick
Does anyone
question,
have any questions?
Krista. This is Yolanda again. Minister Bordley, do you mind if I share your video in the chat?
Sure, sure.
I'll do that. Thank you again. Great program. Looking forward to you doing more in Park Heights.
Pastor Bordley?
Yes, yes.
Can you explain to us how the community can assist you?
Well, we did the fishing tournament on 23rd, 24th of October, and we might have not had enough support that we thought we could have had. One, I think we started late. We took a break after summer camp because it was just that much over a deal that I didn't anticipate. So we didn't go back into the marketing campaign. I learned a hard lesson. We ended up getting so many donations and sponsors, but I didn't have a lot of children. So that was one of the big learning lessons that we found out. I should have had somebody strictly on youth participation that could have concentrated on recruiting more youth. The schools weren't able to really benefit from the tournament or really put it out to gain attraction. So that's something we'll do differently this year coming up. Put it on a lot of class dojos in the schools probably would have helped. One of the, things we found a problem with was trying to gain Hispanics to this program. And I've always been looking for a Hispanic liaison or a communicator to help. So if you know anybody that's interested in adventure and fishing and learning how to do different things, that has some English and Hispanic language, bilingual, that would assist us. But always just trying to draw in more kids and more parents into this engagement. We did a lot of urban fishing clinics where we actually brought the whole kit and caboodle to a location, just like we did for PHR Expo. We had the fishing rods out. We were engaging people who never had gone fishing before, teaching them different rods and reels, letting them get on the kayak on land and get their sea legs, but also learn how to paddle. And I think that's a great buy-in, but a lot of times our population just doesn't have the ability, the funding, or the resources to learn how to fish. So my goal was to make it so much touch and feel as possible. So any volunteers, any help, any youth participation you can come across would help this program.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Does anyone have any questions for him?
I
Okay.
have one question. I'm Annie Williams. I have one question. When will it start back up? The program.
We never stop. We fish year round.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm out here catching fish right now. You just got to say, put me on a boat. If you can endure the weather, we good. If not, we'll start fishing again, hopefully come February, March. It'll take some of the coldness off of the weather.
Okay.
But even if it's just a boat ride, Minister Brian, I want to get on the water. Call me. I'll take you. I got no problems.
Can I have your number?
Sure you can. You want it in the chat or you want it right now?
Yes, Minister Boardley, can you please put your info in the chat? How we can reach you, email and a phone number, please?
Sure.
I couldn't get on Zoom. I'm on my line phone. Can you give it to me, please?
Oh, sure. Let me double check. Sorry. 443-402-6246. And Lindsay, I'm putting that in now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Boardley, for that informative information. As an adult, I think I want to learn how to fish. So thank you.
Sure.
So now we're going to go and do some PHR program updates with our housing and real estate development. So right now we're going to have Mr. Patrick Stewart with the Renaissance Row.
Good evening. Thank you so much. First of all, I just want to say I think that's a tough act to follow. All of the wonderful information that Minister Boardley just shared. We heard about underwater robots and flight lessons. And so I think what we've got going on is pretty exciting. I'm not sure if it matches that, but clearly, we're part of something bigger going on in the neighborhood. So that is very cool. So briefly, my name is Patrick Stewart. I'm a regional vice president with Penrose. My role is to oversee development activities for Penrose in Maryland. I'm here tonight with my colleagues and team members, Pat Bateman, who is the developer for this project, the man in the trenches in many ways, and Melina Derwinger, who is a key person who's overseeing lease up and transition into management. and we're here to talk to you tonight about our Renaissance Row project that is nearing completion. Before I say one more word, I want to thank our partners at Park Heights Renaissance, who have been amazing and obviously have had a huge impact on the neighborhood, and we're really proud to be a part of that. And I just want to note our other team members: Commercial Construction, Mosley Architects, and Carroll Engineering. And thanks everybody for joining us tonight to give us the opportunity to provide an update on this wonderful project. So briefly, I'm going to say a couple of things and then pass it off to Pat Bateman. I would say for us right now, Renaissance Row is really our office's top priority. It's a project that we've been working on for several years, believe it or not. So it's been a long time coming. We're immensely excited to see it ready to cross the finish line. It's going to be completed in just a couple weeks. And so, anybody who's been in the neighborhood and has had a chance to walk by, I think you're seeing evidence of that. It's a project that, given its prominent location along Park Heights Avenue, it's a really visible symbol of the growth that are taking shape in Park Heights. Can everyone hear me, by the way? Is this okay? Okay, good.
Everyone, please mute yourself if you're not presenting, please.
And I apologize in advance if there's any background noise. It is bedtime at my house, so so we feel that this building from the outside and from the inside, in terms of aesthetics, finishes, amenities, etc., is really on par with market rate Class A apartment buildings that are being built elsewhere in Baltimore, and that level of quality is really what Park Heights deserves, and we're proud to be a part of that. The fact that it's coming at an affordable price point is also something that we think is really important, and are, again, really proud to be able to be part of delivering for the neighborhood. In terms of where we are right now, I think Melina is going to get a little bit more into this, but we've already gotten a ton of interest, evidenced by the fact that I think we have applicants for about maybe a little bit or close to half of the 84 apartments, and haven't even opened the doors yet. So it's a really great sign. And we're just, generally very, very proud to be part of the next chapter of the Renaissance of Park Heights in conjunction with our partners at PHR. So we're really excited. I know I keep saying that, but it's true. So with that, I'm going to hand it off to my team member, Pat Bateman, to walk us through some of the details of the project. And then we're going to give Melina some time to get into the particulars around what you need to do if you're interested in living at Renaissance Row. So I'll stop there.
Thanks, Patrick. Thanks for the introduction. Just want to say I'm very happy to be working on this project. It's been a long time, as Patrick alluded to. I started working on it personally at the beginning of 2019, and we'd already been at it for at least 6 months or longer at that point. So it's been a long time coming, and we're very, very excited about the product that's going up out there, and the building as it's really starting to take shape and near completion. So this is just a quick slide about us, Penrose. Patrick already kind of touched on the partnership, but just wanted to highlight we have a extensive track record, and we've partnered with a lot of organizations around the country, and done a lot of redevelopments similar to Renaissance Row. Getting into the actual building itself, it's an 84 unit building. It's a very large 4-story apartment building. There, it does have 2 elevators, and it's a mix of 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments. The majority of the units are affordable to those earning 60% area median income, with 8 of the units set aside for those earning up to 30% area median income, and those units have support from the state through Section 811 vouchers. It's located at the corner of Park Heights Avenue and Rosewood Avenue, so it's right in the heart of Park Heights. It's well within the defined master plan, and it's about half mile or so south of the racetrack. The building, as Patrick mentioned, it's a very market rate feeling building, and it has the amenities to back that up. It has a fitness center. It has a large multi-purpose room. It has a teen room up on the 3rd floor. There's areas for resident storage. We have an on-site management suite, which we will be utilizing for our staffing on site. And it will be the new headquarters of Park Heights Renaissance in a roughly 2,300 square foot brand new office space that's in the northwest corner of the building. What's not on this slide is a lot of the amenities within the units, which include, in-unit washer dryers in all units. There are granite countertops. There are deep undermount stainless steel sinks. There's luxury vinyl flooring throughout, except for the bedrooms, and just very high-end finishes. These are very high-quality units, and so I'm going to get into some pictures of the building, and you'll see some of the unit pictures later on. But this is the corner of the building at Rosewood and Park Heights Avenue. So this is the main residential entrance, and you can see the architectural language that signifies this is an important part of the building. This is the entrance to the building, and this is where the majority of residents and those coming to visit will enter through. To the left of this image, the area that's jutting out, that's additional apartments, but on the 1st floor is the Park Heights Renaissance new headquarters. This is the angle from Rosewood looking back toward Park Heights Avenue, and you can see the corner of the building there, the main entrance that we were just looking at from the other angle. This is the courtyard. It's during this photo, it's still a work in progress, but you can see the double doors at the center of the image. That's the multi-purpose room, and it spills out into an exterior area that residents can enjoy, and a courtyard that we feel like will be a very nice place to inhabit and to spend time. This is a typical unit kitchen. You can see some of the high-end finishes I mentioned at the beginning. I'm just going to scroll through these images. And so with that, I'm gonna hand it off to Melina. She's gonna give an update on leasing and some more information about leasing the project. Before we move on, I did mean to give an update on construction. We are very near completion. I think if you've been by, you will have seen that, but we are expecting to be able to occupy the building at the end of this month. And we've made a lot of progress on leasing. So we expect that once we open the doors, that a lot of people will be moving in very shortly thereafter. So with that, Melina, you take it away. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having us. Two things before I get started. I also can't get Minister Bordley's water program out of my head. I think it's something that many of our urban areas that we work in could or should implement. Really amazing. So I want to read up more about it. I also want to tell everyone that Brittany, who is the property manager for Renaissance Row, is also on this call. She is somebody who prefers to not be front and center. So she's just hanging out in the background tonight. But she is working diligently to process files, interviewing and making sure that our applicants are having a great experience through this. And Brittany is also, she grew up in Park Heights and left for a little bit, but has returned and is now local again to Park Heights. I don't know, Brittany, if you want to unmute yourself and just say hi. If not,
hello, everyone.
All right. So thanks, Brittany. So how do you qualify? Well, on the screen right now, you'll see the table showing our unit sizes, our household size, the income ranges, the AMI. I did see a question pop up regarding that, and I can address that in a minute, and the monthly rent. So in order to qualify, we look at the household size and your income, right? And that's really, you have to be between the minimum and the maximum. And then we can proceed to the next step, which would be a background and a credit screening. So right now we are offering a great special for anybody that applies before the end of December. They will not pay an application fee, so there would be a saving of $25. And in addition, they get their first month rent-free. All right. And how would you apply? So it is important that the pre-application is completed 100%. So if fields are left blank, if pertinent information is left out, we wouldn't be able to proceed. So you need your, enter your name, your social security number, date of birth, and all of that. List all the household members. The pre-application can be found in multiple places. Either go online, or you can stop by our temp office, which is just down the street from the property.
Questions, but this jury has been very quiet, only asking the judge one question. Now, of course, this was the prosecution's case of proof. They showed evidence trying to make the point that January 2000.
I'm sorry, somebody asking me a question?
No, can whoever's TV, can you mute yourself, please?
Abuse around his neck, telling police that he was a victim here. Under this trial.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. No, I was ready to answer, but I didn't quite understand. Okay. So yeah, you can go online and print out the application. We realize that, most of us don't have printers or the ability, so you can actually just come by our temporary office, because we are still not in the space. So the address is listed here, 2710 West Cold Spring Lane. So just a couple of blocks away. So once somebody has completed the pre-application, again, you can drop it off at the temporary office, or you can mail it in. And then once it's submitted, there is a list that comes along with it. And I don't know if we added the pre-application here, but it is pretty straightforward. And there's a list on the website as well of documents. I think we'll touch on those next, actually, that you want to start gathering, because some of the documents that show proof of your income or your assets might not be something that you have readily available. So for most of our applicants, it does take a few days to gather up those documents.
Melina?
Yeah.
You actually have two questions that we need to address before you go any further.
Okay.
And the first question was, you show 60% at medium income, 30% Section 8. What is the other 10%? Once you answer, I will ask you the next question.
There might be a misunderstanding of that. So 60% is the area median income level. So the majority of our units, that income bracket, and I don't know, Pat, if you want to go back a slide. So if you see here, the 38,000, if we're looking at the 1 person, 1 bedroom, starting at 38,434 up to 44,160, that is the 60% median income bracket. We haven't listed the 30% because those are all referrals by the state. I don't know if that answer was clear enough.
So,
Ms. Spence, would you like to Did that answer your question?
No, it doesn't, because you said 60% of the occupancy is in the 60% percentile, correct? Or median.
No, it's not a percentage of the units. It's a percentage of the median income in the area.
Well, you had 76 as the number for the apartments that were 60%. And
Right.
then you had 30% that were,
And that should
you had
make up the
30%,
total.
which was 7. That's 84
Right,
apartments. So
right.
I'm saying, where's the 10%? Because
So
shouldn't it be 100%?
No. So I think you
Hey,
answered
Melina.
your question. Yeah, Patrick, if you
Sorry,
want to.
sorry, I think we had a slide up previous to this one that had maybe some I don't want to say misleading, but some info that might need to be clarified. If we could go back to it, it just has to do with how, the percentage of the total units.
Okay.
That was, I think it was, yeah, it was the next one, Pat. That one, affordability. So it's, and for the caller, I can recognize why that's not exactly clear, but it's eight of the 84 units are at 30% area median income. The other 76 are at 60% area median income. So that makes up the total 84 units. Hopefully that kind of explains it.
Ms. Smith, are you clear?
Yes.
Okay. And Ms. Smith had another question, and that question was, why? Let me see. Oh, I apologize. I'm trying to.
No worries.
Did you want to ask it?
She was asking about the 1-bedroom. She believed that the medium, it appears to be that it's high. The medium income in Park Heights is at 38,000, which leaves a lot of people not being able to apply and get approved to live in this new housing, unit.
Emergency room physician, Dr. Essie Reed.
So the area median income is something, Patrick, maybe you can assist me here as well, that comes out from HUD. So these are not numbers that we assign. These are numbers that are set by HUD, and the same with the income brackets that follow the AMI. And I can certainly, if you wanted to, if the caller wants to share her number and her name, I would love to, follow up maybe tomorrow, and we can talk about it further.
Yeah, I'm actually on Zoom. I didn't call in, I'm on Zoom. And I'm looking at it. Most of the people that live in Park Heights don't make $38,000, not where Renaissance Row is. And maybe in other areas of Park Heights, they might be at their income. So this leaves a lot of people that actually live in this area out in the cold for a 1-bedroom.
Ms. Spence, I'll say this very quickly. This is a mixed income building. There have been lots of complaints about building low income only. So this building in and of itself has varying income levels within one building. So there are some units that have Section 8 vouchers. There are some units that are at almost at market rate. So it really creates a very mixed income opportunity, which we all want in Park Heights. So I understand what you're saying, but there is a requirement for the funding to specifically make these units fall into the categories that they are. So it isn't something that Penrose selected. It's part of the funding requirements that truly create a mixed unit building. Some will be able that are on Section 8 vouchers, and that will address some of the lower income families or individuals that live in Park Heights, while also being able to attract some residents at a higher tax bracket. So I hope
Okay,
that
I
kinda
saw
answers
the,
your
yeah,
question.
I saw the section 8 apartments. 8 is not what I would really call, I believe it was 8 units.
Yeah.
Mhm.
In an
No.
apartment building this size is not really what I
So,
would call mixed use,
right, Miss
but
Spence,
okay, I got you.
no, so actually, and thank you, Ms. Jiggets, for bringing that up. And that was my next point that I wanted to make, that we do accept Section 8 vouchers on all of our 60% units. The 811 units those are unique in itself. Those are referral by the state. But all the other units, we do accept Section 8 for. Okay,
Yes, thank you.
you're welcome.
Melina, we had one more question, and I don't know if you answered this. And that question was from Mr. Lee. He wanted to know what was the AMI for 21215 zip code? Does that come from HUD as well?
Yes, I wouldn't have that information readily available, but I can certainly, we can follow up if he wishes to leave his information.
And just to briefly add to that, as Melina noted, we're in sort of establishing the rents. We're required to follow the area median income formula that HUD and the state establish, and that's really at the city level. It's not really based on zip code. We could look into what that information is at the zip code level, but how the rents are calculated is based on citywide area median income.
Catherine Pugh. Catherine Pugh.
Was there another question?
Looks like that.
Miss Annie Galaxy, or Miss Annie asks, does veterans have a priority?
So at this particular property, we do not have a preference. So the answer would be no.
That said, I mean, like Melina's saying, we encourage everybody who's interested to reach out to our team. We would love to have this be, a place that everybody can call home, in particular our veterans. And even though there may not be a specific preference in place based on, the criteria that are in place at this building. Again, we encourage everybody to reach out. That would be great.
Right, and Patrick and everyone. So one thing that I don't think is on this slide, but once somebody submits their pre-application, then we will process it in the order that it was received. So it's important that if somebody is interested or you know of somebody, that they do get their pre-application submitted, because we've had a lot of interest, and we have to go in order of which it was received, because there is no preference where somebody could, jump to the front. If you don't have your pre-application in, then, you wouldn't be considered. So, and once you have submitted your pre-application, then Brittany, our property manager, will contact you to schedule the appointment to review the file and do the next step of the application. All right, Pat, I think we can go to the next one. So I know this is a lot of information on a slide. This is also listed online. And if you pick up a pre-application, there's this page is attached to it. So you can easily kind of check off what applies to you. So as it starts off with the application fee, which is normally $25, but we are waiving it right now through the end of December. And then we need proof of income. And there's various income sources. So whatever your income source is, we need recent documentation regarding that. We also we're required to verify assets. So we ask for bank statements, other statements of other, assets you may have, such as stocks, 401k, what have you. If somebody that's 18 or older in the household that is a full-time student, we may need to verify that. And then there's some just, standard documents that everyone will need to submit, such as birth certificate, social security card, and picture ID. And that could be, government issue, driver's license or passport. And lastly, on this slide, we do ask for federal income taxes as well. So if you didn't file, you do not have to file, obviously, we don't require it. But if you work and you are required to file, we will need to see a copy of your taxes. So just a few more last items. To pick up the pre-application, you do not need an appointment. The office is open from 8:30 to 4, Monday to Friday. And a reminder, we're still in the temporary office. As soon as we get access to our office in the building, then Brittany will move over there. So no appointment is needed. Once you have submitted, or maybe you have the application, you're not quite sure, I encourage calling or emailing, and we will be happy to assist with whatever questions you may have. But generally, we do not sit down and have an actual meeting with you until you have submitted the pre-application. And then there's this really, it's an interesting program through Baltimore City that is offering help with security deposit. Because we don't manage this program, I'm confident of speaking to it too much, but there's a link here that I do recommend, and we will definitely share with our applicants on how to possibly get some assistance with the deposit. Any questions?
Yes, I have a question. My hand's been up. Can y'all hear me okay?
Hello.
Hello?
Miss
Can you hear
Deborah.
me okay?
Yes, we can hear you, but can you wait 1 minute? Miss Deborah has a question before you.
I sure can.
Thank you. Go ahead, Miss Deborah.
Thank you. My question is, what are the utilities included in the rent or in the amenities? You kind of slided over them a little bit. You never said what utilities and a little more details on your amenities.
Pat, do you want to go back? Do we have those listed?
We don't have utilities listed. I have the building amenities listed, but not the unit amenities.
Okay, so I may have to refer to Brittany. Actually, I'm pretty sure that Brittany, do you have what are the utilities that are responsible by the resident?
Water, sewage, and trash are included. You would pay your own electric bill with BG&E. Everything's electric, no gas.
Awesome. Thank you, Brittany.
Just to quickly add to that, so this building is, correct me if I'm wrong, Pat, NGBS certified and Energy Star for new home certified. And so for that reason is a very, very energy efficient building, which generally translates to lower utility bills for residents, which is a good thing.
That's correct.
Miss Deborah, are you finished with your questions?
I guess I'm looking for the amenities. You say you had them up. Oh, there they are. Okay, sorry. Okay, I see them. All right, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
The next question, please.
My next question was in regards to, I noticed that a statement was made in regards to your income verification. And normally I'm aware of that because, you know, I'm a renter myself. So what I was actually questioning is the tax forms you said is required for proof of residential income. Are they buying like condos or are they renting?
No, so there are various reasons why why compliance requests to see the income taxes. And there's multiple reasons, honestly. It's not an income verifier per se. If you are self-employed, we will need to see your taxes. It depends on your household composition as well. If there's full-time student status in a household, yeah, there's various reasons.
Right. That's the reason why I wanted to question that, because I've never heard anyone actually ask for a tax, you know, or ask for 1040 rather, I'm sorry, for
Gotcha.
rental. Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Pat Bateman, what does the parking look like?
Unfortunately, I don't have a site plan in here, but there's an existing alley that goes off of the kind of off of the northeast side of Rosewood that we connected to and added parking to as well. And then previously that alley only served the rear of about 8 or 10 townhouses that are on Pimlico Road. And so we widened that alley and we added parking on that side of it. And then we also connected a new alley through the northern end of the block, just to the north of the building. And there's also parking, and that alley goes next to the courtyard that I showed previously. The courtyard's on the north side of the building. And so we created kind of a street network that also incorporates perpendicular head-in or back-in parking as well. So, and that was partially due to, Rosewood's a one-way street, Pimlico's a one-way street. And so one of the challenges was creating enough parking around the building, but also modifying and improving the street network so that if you make a wrong turn, you don't have to go all the way around the block. So we did include a new connection from Park Heights to Pimlico, as I mentioned, and then we extended the existing alley, and that connects into that new alley that we put through the block. So there's, I believe, about 43 or 45 parking spaces. There's also ample, street parking in the area as well. And then we did also include, I believe, between 20 and 30 bike parking spaces, both short-term and long-term. When short-term being exterior bike parking, and also there's several bike rooms within the building where someone could keep a bike long-term and use it, more or less frequently as well. So.
Thank you, Pat. And also, all the parking is free. It is first come, first serve, so it's not assigned.
Well, thank you very much,
It's
Penrose.
strategic. Somebody.
Thank you very much, Penrose. You gave us a lot of great information. And we appreciate your participation.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you. Really
Yeah, thank you
appreciate
for
the
having us.
opportunity. And thanks again to
Appreciate
PHR for your partnership.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, we have one more question, Krista.
God.
Oh, okay. So the question was, is the storage space for the residents?
Yes,
Yes.
there are storage spaces in the building for residents.
Yeah, there's 2 designated rooms. I want to say there's roughly 20 or 25 storage units in those rooms. They're organized, and they're kind of like large metal lockers, somewhat resembling cages that can be locked and secured. And they're roughly 4 by 4, 5 by 5 cubes. So they're roughly the equivalent of a decently sized closet when you think about the total volume of that storage space.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very
We
much.
appreciate you.
All right, bye.
Next, we will have updates about Woodland Gardens from Lisa Butlow and Ellen Jarrett.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you. I'm Lisa Budlow with HI, and I will just sort of get us started a little bit. And Ellen is really the person in charge of the project. And so she can answer any questions. I am going to share my screen. Okay, hopefully you guys see the site plan. So this is the site plan for Woodland Gardens. This may sound familiar to you guys. I think we have probably shown this site plan on this meeting or similar meetings before. This is the location of this project, Park Heights Avenue and between Woodland and Virginia. We are going to be building two properties. So this is Woodland Gardens 2, and this is Woodland Gardens 1. 2, which is the senior housing property, is actually coming first. A little bit of confusion. It has to do with when the financing for the buildings came through. And so the financing for the senior housing came through before the financing for the other property, which is the family property, and therefore 2 is just going to be built just a little bit ahead of 1. So just to hopefully alleviate that confusion. So this is 75 units of affordable senior housing. It's built with HUD 202 dollars, and also there's lots of state and city contributions to this project as well. We are hoping to finalize all of the funding for the project in the next month. And we are very excited to be planning a groundbreaking ceremony for this project. So this project is way earlier in the development than the project that we've just been hearing about. We haven't even broken ground, and we haven't actually quite yet finalized that financing transaction, though that is imminent. And like I said, we're planning the groundbreaking ceremony for January 7th. And I'll say a little bit more about that. And I do have another slide to just show you, but I just want to speak about this for a minute. This one is Woodland 1, 63 units. And this is for family, so not age restricted at all, also affordable. And it is, about maybe 3 to 6 months behind the other project in terms of when it will be closing on the financing and going to build. So that's where we are. And I just want to show you, this is the elevation. It's just, an architectural kind of sketch of what we anticipate the buildings look like. This is Woodland 2. So again, this is the senior housing, 75 units of affordable senior housing in this project. And this is the one that we are excitedly planning the groundbreaking for. We will be sending out some information by email, like a sort of email constant contact kind of invitation soon, within maybe a week or so. It is, but I can tell you guys, it's January 7th in the morning at 9 a.m. And we did, Yolanda sent us a list, her sort of contact list, to be able to send it out. So, we may have your emails from Yolanda, or just, if we had them already for ourselves. But if you don't receive information and are interested in coming, please feel free to reach out to me or to Yolanda. I'm sure you have Yolanda's email address. I will put mine in the chat before we're done. And feel free to send me an email, and we will make sure that you know about the groundbreaking event. So, not a whole lot to tell. We got a lot of detail about the project before us. It sounds super exciting. We are very early stages on this project, but we're excited that it is moving forward. And, we'll definitely kind of keep updating you as we move ahead. Ellen, do you want to add any detail, or do you want to just see if there are any questions?
I think the only detail is that on the senior building, we have 40 units that will receive HUD subsidy, which means that they can serve people with incomes basically of $100 up to about 30,000. So those will all have a subsidy, and then there'll be 35 units that do not have a subsidy that are restricted to the people at 60%. So just wanted to start talking about it. It will take about a year for construction. So we would plan on going through the application stages in about a year from now. So if you know people who might be interested who are seniors, particularly those who are income restricted, this is a great opportunity to start thinking about that in a year from now.
Great, ladies. We have a question. And please, if you have a question, raise your hand and put your question in the comment box so I can get to it. But we have a question from Miss Betsy. It says, can you address accessibility issues for low vision, blind, deaf, and others with disabilities?
Sure. So 5% of the units, and I think that was about 7, are specifically for people with specific disabilities. Some of them will be for hearing impairment, and some for vision, and some are for physical. All of the units throughout the building are fully accessible. It is an elevator building. All units, doorways are made for people so they can be adapted to somebody who is physically, and there are certain things that can be put into any unit. If there's a vision issue or a deaf issue, we can put in certain types of alarms that are lights to work with a resident. But there are specific number of units that actually will come already developed that way.
Okay. Are there any more questions? I don't see any more questions for you ladies. Thank you very much for the information.
I did notice a question about there's only steps. So there are 2 entrances to the building, one on Park Heights Avenue, which does have steps, but there's a fully accessible that we have the site plan shows that there's parking and access to the back, and there are no steps at all of that entrance.
Oh, if I may ask just another quick question.
Absolutely, Ms. Betsy.
On behalf of someone who is not here, and that's Marguerite Woods, who is the president at large for the Maryland Federation of the Blind. And she wants to know if you would like representation so that you wouldn't have to add things once the building is built, because there are certain things you can do to make them accessible in the plans.
So we have an accessibility consultant who works with us. And we have, because of our funding, we have specific requirements we have to meet. And as I mentioned, a percentage of units are for different types of disabilities. So we can't do everything in every unit throughout, but we do it based on the federal guidelines. And we do have an accessibility consultant who we work with to determine those requirements.
Okay, well, she can reach out to Yolanda since she's a resident of the area, but couldn't be here tonight.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Betsy.
Thank you.
And thank you, ladies, for that
Great.
information.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us.
We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Now we're going to hear from Mr. Sean Stinnett with the Main Street program. Mr. Stinnett.
Good evening, everyone. How are you?
Good evening.
Good, good, good. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Park Renaissance, and everyone on the call. And I do want to acknowledge, I see one of my Main Street partners, Eric Lee, on this call as well. So always a pleasure when I'm in a meeting or we're meeting together. So I appreciate you. How you doing, brother? My name is Sean Stinnett, as you mentioned. I'm the director of Baltimore Main Streets, as well as I'm the deputy director of the minority and women-owned businesses outside of within the mayor's office. Just to give you a sort of a quick briefing of Baltimore Main Streets, if you don't know. So Baltimore Main Streets, right now we have a total of 8 Main Street districts, which is a combination of business and residential districts throughout the city. Those 8 areas are Fells Point, and I got to use my fingers. So if you see me use my fingers, I'm making sure that I cover all the areas. Fells Point, Pigtown, Federal Hill, Waverly, Pennsylvania Avenue, Hollandtown, Hamilton, Laurelville, and Bel Air Edison. Those are right now, those are our 8 areas as far as main streets. And what we do is pretty much we customize various resources and also work hand in hand with the Baltimore Development Corporation in regards to really building and stabilizing these particular areas, particularly within the businesses within this area. I've had several conversations with Yolanda Jiggets and representatives from PHR as far as with some potential interest as far as bringing the Main Street program to this area. And it's definitely really in line with these great projects that are coming in, these housing development projects that are coming in. So it'll be real filling, and hopefully we'll be able to bring the program over to the Park Heights community. I do want everybody to understand that in order for us to really get to the point to bring, of course, it's going to be a lot of investment on the city side. And that's something that, of course, we're working towards as far as not just for the Park Heights area, for any other area that potentially could be added to our program. But in the meantime, while that is being done, I did share with Yolanda and her team, gave them an opportunity to look over the application guidelines of bringing a Main Street program to their area and kind of seeing exactly what it takes and how much of, as far as building your team to actually bring the program to the Park Heights area. And of course, overall, it's going to take a lot of, showcasing your budget implications, your strategic planning activity, and growth strategy as well, as far as bringing the program to this area. I will be most likely, if and let's cross our fingers that things don't get worse in regards to the coronavirus. That I will be facilitating a few tours of areas with people who have for organizations who have interest in bringing the Main Street program to your area. We're going to be looking at we're looking at Waverly, Hollandtown, Hamilton, Laurelville, and potentially probably Fells Point or Pigtown, one of those other areas, to kind of give everybody an idea on resources that those areas were able to obtain and how they utilize those resources, whether it be in facade grants or street banners or lighting or outdoor seating in regards to the social distancing and so forth. So I'm not too sure as far as exactly what phase, as far as in discussions that Yolanda and her team and some of the folks are, but like I said, we're having ongoing conversations and trying to bring in. But I think that one good thing that it was a great start, and I do want to thank Yolanda, Betsy Gardner, Sister Israel, and some of the other business that gave me the opportunity to kind of run in and out of their businesses in preparation to Small Business Saturday. That it was a great opportunity for me to come in and take some pictures of our Shop Local small business, supporting small business frame that I had up for these businesses, so we can kind of showcase what type of businesses and who's out there as far as within this potential corridor of a future Main Street. So that was a great, and everybody's kind of tapping into as far as that frame and supporting small businesses, because it's not just supporting small businesses as far as after the holidays or during the holidays. It's all about supporting small businesses every day, because it really helps out as far as the community, and it strengthens the overall base of each and every community throughout Baltimore City. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. I'm here through the duration of your meeting. So I appreciate you giving me an opportunity to speak.
Thank you so much, Mr. Stinnett. Does anyone have
Thank
any
you.
questions? Okay, so we're gonna
Yes,
move
I have
on.
a question.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
How you doing? I'm Stephen Kim with the Chemical Merchants Association. Yeah, Sean, you mentioned the facade grant. Where can we get some more information about that facade grant and its status?
Yeah, that's through most likely through Baltimore Development Corporation. So if you send me an email, I'll give you the contact information of the representative that handles this side of Northwest as far as within that office.
Okay, thanks. Perfect.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you.
Mr. Stinnett,
Yes, ma'am.
can you please put your contact information in the chat in case
I sure
anyone
will.
would like to talk to you outside of this community meeting?
I sure will. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we will have an update on DHCD with Ms. Kelly.
Hello, everybody. So Park Heights Renaissance asked me to speak today about the proposals for, or not the proposals, the properties that are available for RFP this fall season for fall 2021. So we released 2 properties in the Park Heights footprint on October 18th, 2021. And then our submissions are due December 17th, which is 2 weeks, or almost 1 week now, getting closer. So they're due Friday, December 17th at midnight. So you got all day. Lindsay, you can move to the next slide. So what a request for proposal is, just in case anyone isn't aware, is a formal solicitation method that the city uses to find creative ideas for locations. And you know, a lot of you are familiar with the MRA site that we just awarded. I guess it was with COVID. It seems more recent, but I know with COVID, it's a little further out. But you know, we awarded the MRA through RFP, and we have 2 properties today to talk about with regard to our RFP responses. The proposers all have to have, you know, meet certain prerequisites. They have to be financially capable of completing the project. There will be a community meeting involved, and I'll be letting Park Heights Renaissance know the date of that once it's been finalized, and they'll definitely share it with the community. It'll probably be a meeting similar to this one, where all of the people, all the viable candidates will present their proposals, and the community will have a chance to fill out a survey as to which ones they liked and didn't like. So next slide, please. So as I mentioned, community vision and participation. Obviously, the community's input is very important to us when we do these RFPs. We want to know, you know, is the community interested in what is being put in here? Are they against what's being put in? You know, we want to have as much input as we possibly can. Obviously, not everyone agrees all the time, but you know, we hope to have a majority of the community supporting the project that is ultimately selected. So we're looking for a team who are willing to purchase the site as is. In this case, they're all lots, so that makes it a little easier. But you know, we're looking for people who are financially viable and capable of completing whatever they propose for the potential sites. So if you could go to the final slide. So the 2 parcels that we have in Park Heights this year, the first is the 4500 Pimlico Road and 3100 block of Wiley Avenue. This is 10 total lots. They are zoned R6 and they're roughly 1.15 acres, and about 2/3 of that is on the even side, and the smaller side is the odd side. It's located in Central Park Heights, very close to the Park Lane Shopping Center. And it straddles Pimlico Road and Park Heights Avenue. The second property is on Reisterstown Road. A lot of people know these lots. They're right behind the Park Lane Shopping Center, in between the McDonald's and the Zeta Center. So you've probably seen some tractor trailers on the site from time to time. We have been trying, thanks you to Councilwoman Middleton's office, we have been getting some success in keeping those trucks off the site, but now we're trying to make a productive use for the site so the trucks will no longer park there. So that is zoned commercial, so we're expecting some interesting applications for that. We don't often have commercially zoned property for RFPs, so I'm looking forward to some unique proposals, and I think we'll have some good ideas of what to place there. And the same for the Park Heights or the Wiley Avenue bundle as well. So that's all we're offering. Again, the proposals are due December 17th, so if you're interested, I can put my email in the chat. I'm also going to put the link to the RFPs in the chat as well, and I will do that right now. And then I'll put my name in the chat, which is Kelly, or my email, I'm sorry, kelly.bacala@baltimorecity.gov. If you have any questions about the properties, please feel free to email me. I'm happy to answer any questions. And once the RFP closes and I actually get to see the proposals, we'll start putting together a community presentation so that, and give everyone enough notice so you're able to attend. And that's it. That's all I got.
Thank you so much for that information.
You are very welcome.
We appreciate you.
No problem. Thank you. Same to you. And I also am happy to see Eric.
So moving on to our agenda, we are going to have any city agency updates and resources at this time. Does anyone have any information that they would love to share? Okay. Well, I do know that we did have a representative, Anthony Green from DPW. He's the community liaison, and he had to jump off, but he left his information in the chat if anyone had any questions that they would have for him. So that information is there if needed. Ms. Betsy, you have a question?
I just wanted to make everyone aware that free testing kits, home testing kits, will be available for organizations. And I would advise that maybe you call the Division of Aging, the COVID department, because you must complete an application and make a request. And they will give you, I think it's up to 64 per organization, but with a large organization like yours, I'm sure you can negotiate what your needs are. But it's first come, first serve. So they are free home testing kits for COVID. And the Department of Aging would be the best place to start. And that number, the general number for MAP is 410-396-2273. Or if in doubt, just call 211 and ask them to connect you, 211.
Thank you, Ms. Betsy, for that information. That was great. Are there any community shout outs that anyone would like to give right now?
I would like to give a shout out just to say that the Park Heights Renaissance Community and Human Development will be hosting a winter warm drive, winter clothing drive, outerwear. We'll be asking for donations, and if people just want to go in their closets to find gently used clothes to donate for our drive, which we'll be having on January the 22nd. We are accepting all sizes from children to adults. So if you know anyone that wants to just be gentle, donate generally used clothes, coats particularly, please feel free. I will leave my information in the chat.
Thank you very much for that information. Also, just to let you know, Brittany Brown, the manager over at Penrose for Renaissance Row, she left her information in the chat for anyone who needs it as well. And the question was raised, where can they drop the items off for the clothing drive and the coat drive?
Sorry, I was on mute. They can reach out, send me an email. I put it in the chat and we can connect. And I appreciate that offer.
I see, Mr. Sinet, you have a question or a comment?
Yeah, sorry, but I couldn't get my mute and camera on. If I may, and since you had just mentioned if anybody has any sort of shout outs, anything like that, if I can, I am looking for a part-time administrative assistant for my office. It's a total of 28 hours per week. If anybody's interested, or if anybody knows that could be interested in some part-time hours with my office with Baltimore Main Streets, my contact information is in the chat. And like I mentioned, this is with the Baltimore Main Street side of my office, and I'm looking for an administrative assistant. So feel free to send me a cover letter and your resume to the email address that I provided. And I'm looking for somebody ASAP. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I do want to say that we're in the neighborhood, so we're at 3000 Drew Park Drive. So it's where, my office is not downtown at City Hall. It's at 3000 Drew Park Drive. So we're in the Northwest area.
I'd like to mention one less is also doing Operation Warm, supplying jackets, coats, hats. We're also trying to get some shoes made for kids for the upcoming winter. We're probably going to give these out around February, January, once they get back into school next year. So I put in the link on our campaign if anybody's interested in helping or donating. The campaign is there. Thank you. And these are going to the kids in the Park Heights community.
Minister Borley, we can't hear you.
I'm sorry, I said and these are going to the Park Heights community. Jackets, gloves, hats, scarves.
Thank you for that information. Miss Dickey, you had a question? We can't hear you, you're muted. Okay. Thank you all very much for taking the time out to spend with Park Heights Renaissance in our community meeting that we held every month. Once again, I'm Krista Yalboa. I am the accounting clerk for Park Heights Renaissance. And thank you very much for bearing with me. I was very nervous. I am very nervous, but I appreciate everyone's participation and their energy that you gave me to make this go very, very smooth. So as I end, I actually have a quote that I would love to share with everyone. And it's actually from Maya Angelou. And give me 1 minute and I'm pulling it up. So the quote that really hit me today, when I was preparing for this meeting was, "We need joy as we need air. We need love as we need water. We need each other as we need the earth we share." And that was quoted from Maya Angelou. So thank you all very much, Park Heights Renaissance. Really appreciate you. And everyone have a great, blessed night. Thank you.
Before we go, I would like to offer a few words. I want to echo certainly Krista's thoughts shared by Maya Angelou. I also don't want to miss this opportunity to celebrate Krista. At Park Heights Renaissance, we see these community meetings as an opportunity to come together with family who may not necessarily know each other. And having the staff host these meetings is our way of introducing us to you and getting to know you as well. So please help me applaud Krista for doing a great job tonight in hosting this meeting. I also want to thank our guest presenters and speakers, Minister Bordley. Thank you for the tremendous work you are doing with young people in the community of Park Heights. I want to say thank you to our partners at Penrose and High. Thank you, Mr. Stinnett, for coming on and talking about the work of a Main Street designation and our aspiration towards that. Thank you also, Kelly, for coming on and bringing updates from the Department of Housing and Community Development. We truly are a community, and none of the work we do is of our own doing. We are an interdependent collective, and our strength is in our ability to do it well together. This marks the last community meeting of us together for this calendar year. So as we transition from this space and this time, this evening, I just want to encourage us all to move forward with the utmost health and safety for the remainder of 2021. And we move with you in tandem, excitedly embracing what 2022 has in store for us, with us, and by us. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Be well and take good care of yourselves and each other. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you, Dedra. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Krista
Good night.
and Lindsay.